Hey everyone, this is Joel. Back at it again, making another application from scratch, which was a very cool experience. Um, in light of recent events, the killing of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, I wanted to do something that reflected what I've been thinking about. One of the reasons I want to become an engineer is to make the world a better place using the skills that I've accrued. So um, going to protests and other community gatherings the past couple of weeks have really showed me um, that there's a lot of work to be done by people who sit in privileged groups. And I thought to use the new JavaScript and Rails combination skills that I've been learning the last month or so to make a simple single-page application where users can find events to attend and generate interest. This is definitely the first version. This is the MVP 1.0 of the Allyship corner, as I'm calling it. You know, a place where people can try to find events to go and be physically supportive with their presence at. So that's kind of why, that's what my thinking behind this, what what was the inspiration for this as I was coming up with ideas. So that's what the Allyship Corner is, and yeah. Okay, so the first thing I'll say is that this application, I built it using JSON Web Token, the JSON Web Token approach for authorization of interaction with my backend server. Essentially, I'm using for the backend, when a user signs up or logs in, I'm using on the backend a combination of the bcrypt, which salts passwords for users and stores them securely. So as the code for the backend server of this application never deals directly with users' passwords, which is good because that would be a security risk. And then a combination of bcrypt and then also the active model has secure password in tandem. So essentially what happens is when a user signs up or logs in and it's a successful creation of a user account or authentication of a current user, the server sends back, along with a response, sends back a token, which is then stored on the client side. So it would actually, for me, I'm using Google Chrome, it would actually be stored in my session storage. Here is the approach I'm currently using. And then every subsequent request for information to the backend uses that token. If the token wasn't present, it wouldn't be a valid request, and my server would reject it. So yeah, every time after the token is stored, the token is included in every fetch call from the front end. So, you know, I won't dive into the details there because the purpose of this video is to be a demo. I'm going to make another video just walking through my code about how I actually implemented the JWT approach. So yeah. So first of all, let's say to sign up for my backend, I made sure that users could well, first of all, you have to have a username and a password. So if I tried to sign up without either of them, it'll say that they can't be blank. You need to have a password. You need to have a username. Furthermore, I also set it up so that the username has to be unique. So I already have a user in my user base that has this jkellyphilly username. The username has already been taken, as you can see by the error. So we need to have a new unique username. So I'll say demo user, and the password will be password. So then we get a successful message, successfully signed up. welcome to the site. I should mention before we go on, when the user lands on this page, there's actually behind the scenes a fetch request that happens to the server without the authorization, which just gets a list of all of our users for their username and user ID, which is for me to do a little bit of work on the front end to make life simpler. So that's also happening just when we land on the page, first of all. Now, once I have this successful response, once I click OK, there will be a lot of HTML that will sort of re-render, and the page will sort of reconfigure. The sign up and login will disappear, and all of my events there's a call to my server for all of the events and all of the comments tied to each one of those events. So this is what the Allyship corner is. There's events that we can attend. Once again, this is the first MVP 1.0 version. Also, I'm not a designer. I don't have a very artistic mind, but I did try to make it look a little clean. So if I want to attend the Black Lives Matter March, I'm demo user, I could say I'm interested, and you'll notice that the number of attendees went from 398 to 399. I do have because this is sort of the first version of the application, if we re-logged in, you would not see that you're able to attend, but let's log in with a different user, and you can see, oops, that this was updated correctly. There's 399 people attending. And so last time when I clicked on the I'm interested button, it upped the number of attendees. If I clicked on this button, but then I said I can no longer attend, and then we logged out and logged back in, you would be able to see that the number hasn't changed. It actually has changed. Every time you click on I'm interested, there's a patch request that's actually being made to the server, and it updates this event's record in the database. It adds the number of attendees as one of the attributes. It's just an integer right now. So it increments that, and then if I say I can no longer attend, another fetch request gets fired off, and then an update to my database subsequently happens. The way that I've set this up is that users can, obviously, we've demonstrated here, can express interest in going. You can leave a comment and say, I'm going to go, and you're allowed to delete your own comments. So as you can see, I've created this comment. I can now delete it. This is also one of my comments. And a user can also delete events that they've created as well. So I've created this Black Lives Matter Philly protest, which is happening at City Hall in Philly. And if I wanted to delete that event, then I could as well. So yeah, let's quickly do the login flow. As you know, we just said demo user. If I didn't put in a password, it would just say invalid username and password for the login. So let's try again. I said our password was password. So if there's a success, once again, as soon as the successful response happens and all this renders, there's a fetch request that gets all of the events and all of the comments tied to those events, and then renders all of that HTML on our page. So we've been able to leave comments. And now let's try creating a new event. The event, all of the attributes need to be present for the event. So if I just tried to create a new event with blank attributes, it would give me the first error that occurs. So if I did put in a name, oops, but didn't put anything else in, it would say the location can't be blank. So let's say Allyship training online. And I copied and pasted this. Oops, I guess that wasn't a, let me see. I think I have a copy image address. Okay, let's try that again. Delete that event. Delete. The event has been successfully deleted. So you see that the event was added. Now if I log in, refresh the page, oops, user, password, password, the event no longer exists. I think this should be the, okay, that looks like it. Ally training online. So now, okay, there we go. Once again, the CSS is not perfect here. I just tried to get it to look somewhat presentable, but I will be probably iterating on this on the front end design a little bit, but a little bit more interested just in the functionality of it. So that's what I'm demonstrating here. So now there's one person attending. So like, yeah, can't wait to see you all. So yeah, and then if we refresh the page again and logged in, you would see that my comment and the event have been logged on the page. So now you can see we have the ability to add events. We have the ability to add comments. We have validations for a user signing up, a user logging in. We have validations for when a user tries to create a new event. If I try to post a blank comment, I have validations for that. This is basically how to use this. Moving forward, I think the next versions of this, if I come back to it, would be to actually add attributes to the users, maybe an array that has the IDs of the events that they've liked, so that when a user lands on a page, they would just see, if I've already said that I'm going to one of these, it wouldn't say I'm interested. It would say automatically I can no longer go, and potentially maybe at the bottom below this sort of news feed home screen part, there would be a section where it would say my events, like events you're attending, something like that. So that's sort of what I've come up with. It's something that I think, obviously it's a little bit, it's new, it's in its infancy, but the idea is one that a lot of people could really use to meet each other and to try to actually get themselves motivated to become better allies. And yeah, it's a lot of work to do, but anyway, that is the app idea. I hope you enjoy. In the description section, I will link to the GitHub repo. As always, collaboration is encouraged. Please give this video a like. Thank you all so much.